Hey folks! Today I'm going to show you the Mad Martian Mod lift engine, which is an elevator lift for Minecraft. Enjoy the video! So before we can get into the lift engine, I need to introduce you to some of the new pieces that were introduced to Mad Martian Mod. There's some redstone additions, and of course there's the individual lift blocks that make up the lift assembly. The lift shaft is combined of three types of blocks. There's the regular lift shaft, which doesn't do anything other than provide support. There's a brake shaft. This thing, when it's sent a redstone signal, it prevents a lift from falling beneath it. This is a sensor block. This will emit a redstone signal when the lift goes past it or rests right next to it. In addition to the lift blocks, we've added some new redstone machines. This is called the redstone modulator demodulator. And additionally, it employs something called shielded redstone wire, which is a new form of redstone. It can actually be quite handy. It makes for very compact redstone designs. It allows, unlike regular redstone, it allows you can send signals adjacent to each other if you design them quite right, and they will not interfere. It also, unlike redstone, will not attenuate until after 60 blocks of distance, unlike regular redstone, which attenuates after 15 blocks of distance. The modulator-demodulator pair takes 3 input signals and through one cable will emit those same 3 signals out the other end, making for a compact design without a lot of redstone all over the place. I'm going to demonstrate how this works using some additional redstone inventions. The redstone ember is like a redstone torch, except instead of a signal strength of 15, it sends a signal strength of 3. Same with a dim redstone torch, except instead of a signal strength of 15, it sends a signal strength of 7. And then there's the regular redstone torch. So let's start by hooking up the redstone ember. Now, additionally, I'm going to show you the ruddimeter. This was added to make it easy to keep track of your redstone signal strengths. You just hover it over some redstone and it tells you what the signal strength is at that block. So here we've got a signal strength of 3. And out at this end, here you can see it's coming out the other end. Signal strength of 3 again. We'll put the dim redstone torch on this end. And finally, we'll put the powerful redstone torch over here. And you can see how that works. So that's the modulator-demodulator pair. This will make your redstone machines much more compact, allowing you to do a lot more with less space. The final thing I'm going to show you is the signal booster, which is the opposite of a comparator. Let's say we have an input signal of 3. Comes out the other end is 3. Pretty normal. Nothing fancy there. But it will be boosted by the amount of signal strength you send into the side. So we're going to put 7 into the side here, and we should get 10. 3 plus 7 equals 10. This is important as well because it's part of what I call a variable memory unit, which is a redstone assembly that, given any signal strength input, it will remember the exact same strength of that signal even after the input signal has died. So now, I think we're ready to show you some of the internals. So what are we looking at here? Well, like any good elevator, there's something that powers it. What you're looking at here is a steam turbine, which is part of the multi-block steam engine assembly. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because there's going to be a separate video for that. But as you can see, there's iron pipes connecting to this end, which goes down to a boiler. And if you look carefully, you can also see wooden axles coming out the other end, which actually powers the lift motor itself. Taking a closer look at the assembly inside the shaft, we've got a disengaged gearbox here. If you send a redstone signal to a gearbox, it will engage, and the axle on that side, which is moving, will engage this axle, which will in turn power the lift. Let me demonstrate. Now it's engaged, and the lift is rising. So here we are behind the elevator shaft. We're going to show you some of the wiring that I have in this compact area. And the intention here is to keep the redstone as slim as possible, because next to the actual elevator shaft, you've typically got lots of rooms and other floors. You don't want to take up a lot of space for the elevator stuff. That's a redstone signal booster. It's just specialized for the shielded redstone. Their arrow points which direction it's going. So the signal's going up there. That cable is used for powering the lift engine at the top. It's also used for powering the lift brakes. Behind that block, right about there, is some lift brakes. And it's currently powered. So that means that if there is a lift there, it's not moving. And that's right, because there is a lift there. Similarly, this is the sensor block. Remember, it sends a redstone signal if a lift passes by it or is resting on it. And, well, we just saw that. So that's why that's lit up. This cable is going down. This is used for the buttons and indicating where the lift is. Hence why we mentioned the lift sensor. Here are where the buttons send their signal. And I did not show you the buttons and how they behave. In the interest of saving time, I will keep that very brief. 4 and 2. Depending on which button you press, it will send a certain redstone signal strength. 15 or 14. And with the 4 buttons, it'll send strength of 15, 14, 13, or 12. Using your clever mathematical skills, you can use that signal strength, passing it into this cable to determine which button was pressed. I like to call this a hybrid digital analog design. That's just some fancy electronic mumbo jumbo. It'll all make sense. It'll all come out in the wash. Trust me. So now let's take a quick run to the control room. Welcome to the control room. This is where the magic happens. Up here on the wall is a heads-up display. It's actually pointless because no one's ever down here to look at the thing, but it indicates where the lift is currently. I have 6 floors, so that's why there's 6 lights. It also indicates which button was last pressed, and this one indicates whether the lift engine is powered or not. But I'm not going to go into detail with that. It's not necessary. Unless you can use it to help you troubleshoot, but other than beyond that, it's not really necessary. The first thing I want to point out about this room is that for something as complex as a 6th floor elevator, it's actually pretty small. It consists of 2 variable memory units, this one and this one. And the magic happens right here at this confluence, where it combines the 2 signals, and using some fancy electronics math, it uses that to determine whether or not it needs to power the lift engine. So if the lift is at a bottom floor and you're at the top floor pressing the button, the lift engine will power and it'll bring the lift up. Vice versa, if you're at a bottom floor and the lift is up in the rafters at the top floor, you press the button and it'll release the brakes and the lift will fall. See how that works? It's a bit of a computer, and the key thing to remember is this is a very, very small and compact area for something of that complexity. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because this is pretty complex, and you're going to want to figure it out on your own, especially if you're really keen on this redstone stuff. So we're going to take one more last ride on the lift and call it a day. If you're interested in the lift and any of the other redstone things, be sure to check out some of the other videos that I'm going to make, including a description of these other blocks that we see here, the steam engine and whatnot that powers this thing. So thanks for tuning in.